Hello, it's Alicia. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I am so excited because today I have a very special guest, and she is a client of mine. She has also become a friend of mine. Her
Yeah.
name is Mo, and I'm really excited to introduce you to her today because I wanted to have her on to share with you a little bit about what her experience was working with me as her personal stylist. So I want to begin by just introducing Mo. And Mo, could you please tell me a little bit about yourself? What do you do for your
Absolutely.
business?
Yep, totally. First of all, thank you so much for having me here, Alicia. I'm like beaming and excited to talk about my experience. I am an executive, a healthcare executive for almost 30 years, registered nurse at the beginning of my career. But after 30 years of being in the corporate healthcare world, I decided to go into career coaching and help other women elevate their careers. And so I've been doing that for 5 years. I've been helping women. My tagline is bring your soul to work to land your dream job. And so I help women elevate themselves from the inside out and totally rock their careers and make more money and feel better about themselves and all that great stuff that I figured out over a 30-year period of time. I now have on my online workshop, and then we get great results. And we met each other because a client of mine had found you and worked with you, and she was super excited about introducing us to each other. So that was what, about 9 months ago,
That
something
was
like
around, I
that.
think it was at the beginning of this year, maybe the
Okay.
very end of last year.
Yeah.
And she was, yep, she was in your workshop, and
Yeah.
she joined me as well. And she kept saying, "You've got to meet this woman, Mo. You two align so well."
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was like, "Yes, I've got to meet this woman, Mo."
Right. Right. And it just so happens that you were such a professional follow-up artist. And I totally appreciate that because I'm busy with my thing. So you helped kind of like get my attention a little bit, which I appreciated your follow-up and your professionalism. And as you know, when we've started working together, I'd been thinking about hiring a stylist, but honestly, I was like, oh, that's too like you don't need that. And then as an entrepreneur, which I've been for 5 years, which is a new role for me, you read all these things about decision fatigue and how all these guys who are entrepreneurs have like, they only wear black shirts. They only wear a certain type of jeans. They only have a certain type of tennis shoe so that they don't have to make decisions about what they wear. So I'm like, okay, maybe I should do that. But that's like a guy thing, kind of like women, that doesn't really work for us. So I was all confused with my wardrobe identity. And when you came along, it was like perfect timing because I'd been tossing this around and feeling like I wasn't really worthy of having my own stylist and all of that. So that was kind of where we intersected.
Yeah, so that's exactly it. We had met, and you had told me, "Oh, your timing is so great," because
Yeah.
I had been thinking about having working with a stylist before. Tell me a little bit about what was it like before, what made you start thinking, I could be working with a stylist. What was going on? What was your relationship with your
Yeah.
style and getting dressed and shopping?
Well, I'll preface it by saying I grew up as a Catholic girl. So growing up, I was always wearing uniforms. I didn't have to get good at clothes. And kind of always had time, didn't really like clothes and thought that was like a girly thing. Then actually as an executive woman, I kind of knew what to wear because there's certain things you wear when you're an executive woman. Like there's just like stuff that you wear. And so I just kind of picked out clothes, sort of uniformy, like maybe one could call them a little bland, but I tried to be stylish and I was always like tailored look and, executive looking. So I didn't really feel that I had much creativity or thought needed for what I was wearing. It was kind of just utilitarian and just kind of making sure I looked the part, so to speak, and was dressing properly for the office and the role I had. But I never felt confident with what I put on, really. It was always kind of a crapshoot. Um, 5 years ago, I started this business. I had a photo shoot with a photographer, and I brought like 5 or 6 outfits with me, and they were kind of a little bit more casual and fun. And I'm like, oh, finally I can wear stuff that I enjoy wearing. And I had this great photo shoot, and I wore a pink blazer. I had a white, like thin sweater underneath, and I wore a denim shirt, and I kind of did this, and I just kind of felt like I was like enjoying wearing stuff. But that was like the only time in my life ever that I felt that way. So as an entrepreneur working from home, I get kind of lazy. Not that I was wearing sweatpants. I always made a commitment to myself to get showered in the morning, get dressed into something that was somewhat professional. But I always felt awkward. I never felt that I really had like my jam about what I was supposed to be wearing. And then I'm on video all the time also. So I'm like, am I paying enough attention to how I look? And am I showing up like with people who would be like, oh, Coach Mo, I want to work with her, and she looks kind of good. And I knew I was missing the point. And I didn't have the skills within me. So I knew that there was something that I should be doing better with. I mean, long answer maybe, but that's kind of where I was.
And another thing that I remember when we first started working together, when we had our first call, is you had mentioned to me that you needed to lose some weight.
Yeah.
So that you weren't
right.
quite sure if it was the time or did you need to wait until you lost the weight? So tell me a little bit about how that was, because you decided you weren't going to wait anymore. So tell me a little bit about how that went for you.
I mean, as a middle-aged woman, I'm in my late 50s. Like, I weigh 20 to 30 pounds more than I ought to. And I think a lot of women my age have a problem. Our metabolism slows down. You know, the body just isn't as efficient anymore. I've been an exerciser all my life, but you know, it doesn't really keep up. So I've always been like, oh, I got to lose 20 to 30 pounds. And then my clothes will fit better. And then I'll be able to wear stuff I want to wear. Like, it was always this, when that, then I'll finally have the clothes or the body, and then it'll all work itself out. I think a lot of us human beings kind of put ourselves in that box. Like, well, when my boss finally recognizes me, then I'll have my career and I'll get the promotion. Like, we kind of like waiting for this event to happen to save us. And being a coach and being somewhat real with myself, I realized that that was not an option. Like, waiting around for like this thing, losing weight, which I hadn't done in 15 years. So what the hell is it going to happen like in the next 2 months? No, let's just get on with it. And frankly, that to me was the beginning of a whole self-discovery process. And working with you was me to stop fighting against my body. So I looked at my body as not helping me, like against me. And this is very subtle stuff. We don't really think that that's going on, but the inner dialogue is, body, why can't you just be the size you were 20 years ago? When clothes fit better, I felt better about yourself. Like, why do you have to be this middle-aged body? Like, there's inner dialogue, silent story going on. And I just had to like stop it and where I'm at, and then just say, let's dress accordingly to where you are right now, Mo, and let's just move into something that's going to be better and more pleasing. So I had to just get over it.
So that was one of the reasons that maybe you hadn't worked with a stylist earlier before me. Were there any other reasons that were holding you back from actually pulling the trigger?
Yeah, I just didn't feel that it was like appropriate for me. Like, who am I to get a stylist? So that was there. And then there was well, how is this going to work? And then there's, frankly, I don't love clothes. Like, it's not like, ooh, let me focus on my word. Like, it's like one of the last things I really want to focus on, because it's not my thing. Again, you know, all the more reason to hire someone who it is their thing. And, you know, I learned a lot from you, but it just wasn't, to me, it wasn't kind of fun. And I probably knew that there was some Band-Aids I was going to have to rip off to kind of go through this process, which is, you know, I did. And we went through some stuff, but those were the things that were stopping me. It just didn't totally jive with what I like doing.
Right. And you're a busy woman. You have a lot going on in your life. So
yes.
As far as priorities go, it just wasn't what you wanted to put your focus on.
Correct. Yep. So when I finally like decided that it was this thing out there that I just needed to address, I was on video a lot. I just needed to like, you know, bite the bullet, so to speak, and just take care of this like nagging issue.
So it was like a nagging issue. It was something that you wanted to take care of, but you didn't believe that you were worth it. You didn't know exactly how it was going to work. You didn't really
Right.
have the time.
Right.
And finally bit the bullet. And then
Yep.
I got the pleasure of working with you. We worked together virtually because
Yep.
I'm in New York, you're in Florida. So,
Yep.
so we met regularly. Tell me a little bit about how was it for you? You know, because styling is traditionally, it is a in-person experience. So what was it like for you to work with me virtually?
Well, when I finally got my head around it, Alicia, what I actually realized is that it seemed like it was less fussy to work virtually. Like, I don't want to like be trying on clothes in front of someone, and it just seemed fussy and too much of a, and I just didn't want to do that. Like that was, I think, part of the reason why I never did it. Cause it's not my jam. Like I'll buy clothes at stores and not try them on because I just don't want to fuss with it at a waiting room and have someone come in. How's it fitting? I don't know if it's a patience that I just don't like that. So the virtual thing gave me the opportunity to kind of like work with you and then go like do the stuff like fitting on and trying on my own and just dealing with that like, you know, in my own space, in my own time. So I liked that a lot. And it was also super convenient. So I was able to make an appointment, show up on a call like this, and we were able to get down to business and make decisions and sort things out. I mean, I was able to just move through the process really quickly and conveniently, and all the fussing stuff I could kind of do in my own time, which I felt was a great process.
So when we were together, it was very laser focused. We knew exactly what the task was at hand for that session. And when we could just go in with less distractions because we're just face to face, you and I, there to tackle the issues.
Right, right. And I remember at the beginning, so you had me fill out an inventory form and like a questionnaire and send you some pictures. Like I was just irritated about that because I just didn't want to deal with it. But I realized it was part of it. And now, you know, I'm watching myself going through this process, thinking about my clients who are like, so let's investigate what you really want to do for your dream career. And I'm sure they feel the same, like, I just don't want to deal with reality. What are you talking about? And just getting into the details of solving a problem can be painful. And frankly, you had a great process. You're a lovely person. So you were super easy to work with. And you kind of didn't let me whine too much. But at the same time, you just kind of like moved me through it because you're very zen. You're like, moved me through it. And when I would bitch about something, like, okay, moving on. So, which was super helpful for me because I felt like you were like there with me during the uncomfortableness of uncovering some things. And up to and including like our second appointment, which was reveal on what I had sent you. And I was, oh God, here we go.
Yeah, I can remember some of those experiences. It was definitely uncomfortable for you, and I could feel that. And like I said, we had a job to do. We needed to work through it, and it's certainly not always the easiest thing. Tell me, what do you remember as being the biggest challenge of the whole experience?
Well, I mean, I had to really just like face the fact that this was an area of incompetency for me. I don't like that. I'm a very competent, get shit done, save the world type of person. Like, you don't give me a challenge that I can't do. But this was an area of incompetency, and I felt uncomfortable. I mean, I totally felt uncomfortable. And then there's the pictures I sent you, and then there's another person looking at pictures of me, scrutinizing, and where does that ever feel good for any human being? Never. But I knew I had to learn some things, and I was open. And again, you were just so delightful to kind of be there with me when I was feeling uncomfortable. And that was great. I mean, if you were the critical parent going through that, I would have been like, sorry, Lee, working out. I got to like do some, I got to focus on my business, and I'll just wear black shirts.
Yeah, well, I think just having sometimes that neutral third party, which is what
Yeah.
consultants, coaches, this is what we do. We're that neutral third party to step in unbiased and to really take your
Yep.
hand and get you through to the other side.
Right. And I don't know how many of your clients feel incompetent on style and what they do with their clothes, but I mean, I feel like I'm the bottom barrel of people who clothes or work competency. Although people who know me were like, really, you always nice. I did that way inside. I felt insecure and very vulnerable and, kind of like a jerk on what I was wearing.
Well, I remember you had also told me that you knew how to put clothes when we first started. You said that you understood your body and you knew how to put clothes together. And I remember looking at your outfits and agreeing, oh yeah, she does have she has some of these concepts down. She clearly gets it. So what did you notice that was different then after we worked together? What would you say was the biggest shift in the way you looked at your body and putting clothes together was for you?
I moved away from being critical of myself into a state of acceptance, happiness, feeling well clothed. I don't want to say pretty or beautiful because that wouldn't be the right words, but I just feel now that I have a competency about what I'm wearing. Like, I don't doubt it. I don't feel, oh, I hope this looks okay. Like, I don't feel any of that self-doubt. And I don't have too much, maybe there's a little lingering, I don't have too much criticism about myself more either. Like, if I put on an outfit, I know it's going to look good on me. I know it's going to feel good on me. And I don't try to put stuff on that doesn't feel that way, trying to look a certain way or more interesting looking. I mean, whatever the things were that drew me to wearing clothes that didn't work for me, I don't do that anymore. So I have no more self-doubt about what I wear. I have no more self-criticism. I feel more worthy of the choices and what I'm wearing for my wardrobe. I don't feel like a jerk or an idiot about what my wardrobe looks like. I don't feel judged. I mean, and that was all from me. So you helped me work through a lot of inner demons, honestly. I mean, it was clothes, but there was so much attachment going on that I kept up with working with you. I mean, it was better than therapy. Seriously.
I remember also some of the clothes that, like talking about budgets and worthiness, that's a big thing that I work with on my clients. A lot of my clients, they want to try to save money. So they don't want to spend, so their budgets for their clothing is they buy cheap clothes. And that's not always the best solution for everybody. So I remember talking to you about this a little bit about the budget and I saw a change in you in that.
Right. And I've never bought cheap clothes per se because they never look good on me. But with that being said, there was like a price point that I was like, ooh, I don't know. Ooh, I don't know. Will that be worth it? And you did a couple of pieces that were above my comfort zone price wise. And I see the difference and the quality and the fit. I have you can't see it now, but I'll just expose this. I have a bit of a middle I don't love. And you really helped me navigate that also. And better made clothes just look better on my body. Maybe some people can pull off different quality of clothes, but I've always kind of needed to have a little bit of a level of quality in my clothes for some reason. I just don't look, I've got friends who they can put on anything and look fantastic. And I'm like, how do you do that? So you helped me kind of notch up the bar a little bit on some of the pieces that I got and understanding, kind of like foundational pieces in the wardrobe and just not being afraid to kind of stay with the foundational pieces and just build upon that versus I would have thought before how boring, but now I kind of get it.
They're supportive. They're supportive for your wardrobe. They're supportive for you.
Right. Yeah.
What do you think was the most unexpected result that happened after working together? Like, where are you now that you're like, wow, I never really saw this coming, how I would feel about my style or the way I'm getting
the inner work is what was the most surprising. Like, I kind of have my act together. It exposed a lot of vulnerabilities in me and cleaned it up. like I didn't stay like with all this uncomfortableness. We were able to clean it up and create ease and solutions and ideas. And I have some very stable wardrobe solutions that are my go-to. I have go-to that I wear during the day working from home, clothes that I feel nice in, that aren't schleppy and kind of work from home like fake pajamas. Like I don't dress like that. I never wanted to. So I've got some really nice, casual, comfortable clothes. I feel 100% comfortable with what I wear on camera. And I'm no longer trying to do something with what I wear that's inauthentic. Like I'm really comfortable with the lane of style for me that you helped me totally hone in on. I'm not trying to go outside the lane anymore, which before I kind of was because I didn't feel comfortable. So now I get my lane. I'm wearing a nice linen black blouse with a nice easy necklace. It's comfortable and I feel great in it. And yeah, so I'm just rocking with that.
I love it. What was your favorite part of working with a stylist?
Having someone to see me and appreciate me for who I am and what I wanted to wear, and not to force me to look or feel like someone I'm not. You totally understood me. You listened well. And then you crafted solutions around me. And you gave me like these opportunities to think outside the box, you know, as we were going through the process. And I was like, no. And then you kind of like learned me through that, rather than saying, well, Mo, I really think you should go out and this outside your comfort zone. Like you didn't do that. You just listened and paid attention and allowed me to get into my comfort zone, which wasn't like plain small or anything. It was just, this is where I feel good.
Yeah, figuring out what works for you.
Yeah, you really listened to me. That was really, really an awesome part of the experience.
I love listening to you. So if there was a friend or someone that you were talking to and she was thinking about hiring a stylist, but she was a little bit on the fence, what would you say to her?
I would say you're going to be shocked and surprised at how amazing you're going to feel after working with, I mean, I don't know if all stylists are like you, Alicia, but I'm just obviously going to say my experience with you. You totally heard me. You totally got me in a comfort zone. You gave me exact pieces and exact wardrobe standards, if you will, to stick with, so I could feel comfortable and not bounce all over the place. So working with a stylist who cares, who listens, who appreciates who you are and how you want to be seen in the world is really important. And I mean, anyone who is interested in this, I mean, I would point them in your direction. I mean, we, as you know, we've introduced you to some of my clients, and we have some of your beautiful tips and that sort of thing for the ladies in my workshop. And I would love for more of our ladies to actually hire you individually so that they could have the same elevated experience that I had with you. And you know what? You weren't super duper like out of the world expensive. You claimed your price and you claimed your value, and it was worth all of it. And I think we did a couple of extended sessions after the original thing, and you have a great process. So I didn't feel like we were all over the place. You had a very methodical process that you took me through. When you created my style books for me, which was a lot of fun, you sent me electronically ideas and things for me to sift through on my own time. So there was not a lot of wasted time and inefficiencies in working with you, which was really great. It made me feel more happy about working with you because it was just, everything was just like moving right along.
Yeah, well, I have to respect your time because like I said, I know you're really busy. So it was really fun and it was an honor to work with you. I loved watching your style transform. It wasn't like you were in this horrible place when we started.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Not at all. But where I've seen you come, where you are now is, I mean, you've got your signature style nailed down, and it's very obvious to me when I look at you, the confidence that you have with your style.
Totally. And even though I'm wearing black today, we've kind of settled on navy and white kind of base colors. And, you know, in the past, I would have been like bored with that or judging, well, Mo, can't you get out of the navy and white business? I mean, that's ridiculous. But you know what? I've liked navy and white ever since I was a little girl. But I had to kind of like have your permission basically to be okay with that being okay. And there's a lot that I've done with navy and white as kind of base colors and things that I can kind of mix and match, and being okay also with like monochromatic outfits. And whereas before I would have judged it as boring and like lack of creativity. Now it's like, it's how I roll. Like, it's what I wear. And I got to tell you, I don't think you and I have spoken since I had a grouping with I belong to this big mastermind group of other coaches. And I was at a conference and they were all commenting on how great I was looking.
You didn't tell me that. I love hearing that. I love.
Yeah. And I was like, really? Me? Because I'm not wearing anything like super special, or like, I'm not all of a sudden sporting Versace or something that's like, oh, you look so runway special. I'm wearing clothes that I'm comfortable in and that match me. And so the reflection back was like, you look great. I mean, I was like, okay. And then I said, I have worked with a stylist. But I didn't want to take all the credit for it.
Well, it all comes together once you figure out your style,
Right.
the clothes that work for you, what you love, what's going to help you feel like yourself, really, your authentic self. That's really when it all comes together, other people start to notice.
Yeah, because when you're kind of uncomfortable in what you're wearing, you're portraying that. You might try to be hiding it, or you might not even know that you're uncomfortable. You're portraying it. It's getting sent out in the energetic universe, and it's subtle to be uncomfortable with what you're wearing. Like, people aren't going to be like, oh, why is Mo uncomfortable? Like, they would never say that, but they would just be picking up like the energetic vibe of not being comfortable. Now I'm like comfortable all the time.
It's not like you're walking around with a giant stain on your shirt. But in a way, if you're not comfortable, you might as well be,
Right.
Putting out the same vibe.
Yes, as a matter of fact, that's funny that you say that. There was a shirt that I loved wearing, but it had like this oil stain on it from like, I don't know, olive oil or something. And I remember showing it to you in one of our sessions, and I'm like, I love this shirt, but it has an oil stain on it. And you said, oil stain? It's going. And I'm like, you're right. But I was hanging on to it. Why? I don't know, because I had some fantasy that the oil stain was going to go away. It wasn't going away. I mean, it was a silk shirt. It was indelible. There's no way that that's going to go away. But that's also a metaphor, isn't it? Like, when we have like something that we have an attachment to, and there's like an imperfection that is causing us not to enjoy it anymore. Like, we hang on to it because of what it was, even though we're not even enjoying it today. Like, blah. That's like a metaphor of life, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's the memory of enjoying it. That's what we remember. And but like, how can you really feel 100% confident when you know you've got this oil stain on you? I mean,
it's silly. It's so silly. It really is. It's like, so I mean, all these little subtle moves that you helped me with that were really personal development moves. I mean, I kind of feel this way in the work I do, Alicia, where I'm a career coach, but really I'm helping transform souls. And the women who work with me get that. They're like, you're really a spiritual healer. I'm like, I know, but I'm in like career clothes. And so you're really a healer and a transformational artist, but you're using clothes and the creativity and the wardrobe to help us evolve those parts of us with how our outward appearance is either in sync or not with our inner self. So that was the most fun aspect of working with you, and the most rewarding, and the most surprising.
Surprising, yeah. You think you're going to be getting all like colors, stripes, patterns, but really you're getting a spiritual makeover.
Exactly. And then a few wardrobe ideas to go with it.
Yeah, of course. Of course. Mo, I loved working with you, and I'm so glad that we've become friends since then. We've been in touch for this whole experience. So, and I want to thank you for coming here and sharing your experience. Can you just, in case anybody watching wants to find out more about you, where can we learn more about you?
Best way is mofaul.com. That's MOFAUL.com. My website tells all. There's click-throughs, free stuff, downloadable stuff. I'm on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. I'm everywhere on social media. And I've always got a Motivational Monday or a podcast to kind of keep things going. And I have a radio show on Unity Radio every Thursday. and I talk about a very spiritually uplifting topic on that. So I can kind of like fly my wings a little bit in the spiritual realm, and a lot of good stuff out there. And of course, if people are really serious about working on their careers and really transforming, I've got a workshop and an online webinar to kind of show people what I do. And that's all through mofaul.com. People can kind of find out about that.
I love your motivational your Facebook lives, your motivational Mondays. Those are you cover some fantastic topics there.
Thank you. Thank you. And I hope I'm like looking okay on those. If I know my stylist is showing up, I got to like make sure I'm in my game here.
I'm always like in the comments, looking good, Mo. Amazing. Well, thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure connecting with you, and I will see you soon. And everyone else, don't forget to like and subscribe to the videos if you want to see more. I will be back here next week. Okay, bye.